Hello, not only in the United States but almost all over the world know the famous Samsung phones, but not sure you already know that Samsung accounts for 20% of Korea's total exports. Currently, Samsung is one of the 15 largest companies on the planet with nearly 500,000 employees, revenue reaching $267 billion. But how was Samsung born and grown? Interesting stories about it that you must not have heard, so let's find out now. The origin of the company dates back to 1938 when Japan was still ruling and occupying Korea. A man named Lee Byung-chul, who came from a family of landlords in Korea, founded the trading company Samsung Samho in Taegu, Korea. Why take the name Samsung? The answer is that in Korean the word Samsung means 3 stars, a symbol of sustainability. Samsung started with just 40 employees and was mainly in the field of noodles and dried fish. Business did well and soon it was so prosperous that it moved its main office to Seoul. After the Korean War, Samsung expanded into textiles and opened the largest wool factory in South Korea. He focused heavily on industrialization with the goal of helping his country redevelop after the war. During that time, his business benefited from the new protectionist policies of the Korean government, the purpose of which was to save large domestic corporations from competition and provide money for them to grow. By the end of the 1950s, Samsung had become huge. They acquired the 3 largest commercial banks in Korea, as well as an insurance company and cement and fertilizer manufacturing companies. 10 years later, Samsung bought most of the insurance companies and also the oil refinery, a plastic company. However, up to this point, Samsung phones have not been born, let alone dominate the world. Samsung first entered the electronics industry in 1969 with its first product, a black and white television. During the 1970s, the company began to manufacture household electronic products. With nothing but money, Samsung acquired a 50% stake in Korean Semiconductor, a leading technology company in the country that doesn't know how to eat bread. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, Samsung continued to expand rapidly into the technology businesses, quickly becoming a leader in information technology services. Samsung also established 2 R&D institutes to expand the company's technology lines into electronics, semiconductors, polymer chemicals, genetic engineering tools, telecommunications, aerospace, and nanotechnology. Samsung chairman Lee Byung-chul died in 1987. His son Lee Koon-hee became the second chairman of the company. Samsung Group at that time was split into 5 different groups including Samsung, CJ Group, Hansol Group, Juwon Group, and Shinsky Group. Each group specializes in different industries, with Samsung still focusing on the electronics sector. When he took over, Chairman Lee Koon-hee said, "Samsung is too complacent with its success and that will probably destroy the company." So he created a revolution in Samsung's culture. Lee Koon-hee called the executives to come and said, "Change everything but your wife and children." He emphasized that subordinates will have to give opinions and boldly point out mistakes of superiors. At the same time, Samsung must focus on product quality instead of quantity, promote more women to senior executives, and discourage bureaucracy and negativity. And the changes he made have really worked. During the 1990s, the company continued to expand into global electronics markets and great success. Samsung rose to become the largest memory chip manufacturer in the world by 1992. However, by that time the Samsung's top leadership has been embroiled in serious scandals, including 2 issues. First, Samsung is involved in many patent infringement lawsuits, and second, Samsung leaders are accused of bribery of former President Roh Tae-woo in 1996. Mr. Lee was later sentenced to 2 years in prison, but the company continued to make progress on the technology front and product quality. The 2000s saw the birth of Samsung. The Galaxy line of smartphones not only quickly became a popular product around the world, but it also reached the top of the best-selling smartphones in the world. Samsung also supplied the processors for Apple's first iPhone models and was one of the largest manufacturers of microprocessors in the world in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Since 2006, the company has been the best-selling TV manufacturer globally. In April 2008, Chairman Lee was again prosecuted for breach of trust and tax evasion. Soon after, he resigned as chairman of Samsung in July, was fined $80 million and 3 years suspended prison. However, just over a year later, he was pardoned and allowed to participate in the International Olympic Committee, leading Korea to successfully host the 2018 Winter Olympics, after which he continued to sit into the chairmanship of Samsung. Samsung is considered a miracle on the Han River. In addition to the field of phones, as you know, actually Samsung also operates in many other fields, from clothing, cars, excavators, cranes, to chemicals, electronics, medical devices, from advertising, real estate construction to entertainment, financial services, banking, hotels, to information and communication technology, healthcare services,
retail, shipbuilding, even manufacturing aircraft engines, weapons, and armored vehicles.
Thus, from a company selling dried fish, Samsung has risen to become the most multinational, multi-field corporation on the planet. Hope you guys are watching this video. 10-20 years later, there will also be such large corporations. Thank you for watching the video, goodbye, and see you again.